In this video, guys, I'm going to go through my top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies of all time. Hey there nerds, today I'm going to do a top 10 video, and this top 10 video is going to be a subject of which I've been meaning to do a video on in a long time, and it is my top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Now, growing up in the 80s, Arnie was the man to me. He was my favourite actor, action hero. There was no one even close to him. And I think that was the same for a lot of people. When I think of the 80s and 90s, most of the time, Arnie comes into my brain. Brilliant, brilliant. I think he's a brilliant actor. You know, he's obviously not the best actor, he's not an Oscar-winning actor, but it's just, movies are just, they're just good. I just enjoy them. I think there's something about him, he was just iconic to me. And yeah, I wanted to share my top 10 movies of his with you. Okay, so number 10 is a silly one, and it is Jingle All The Way. So, being Christmas, my son's Christmas tree there, that he did all by himself. Yeah, I'm going to slip this one in because I watched it the other day, and it's not a good film, let's be honest, it's not. But when every Christmas I want to watch it, I think it's silly, it's funny, and being a parent and a dad now, I can relate to the stresses of trying to make your son's Christmas good. And in this movie, it's basically a father. He's not been a very good father, he's really just focused on work, which, you know, is important because he's got to make a living for his family. But he's not a good father. He keeps messing up, and then the last thing he does is that he forgets to get this present, this Turbo Man action figure for his son. And then he's scrapping around Christmas Eve and right at the last minute to try and get hold of this toy that's sold out in every shop in the city. And yeah, that's basically how the movie goes. It's funny, it's silly, and it's you know, I think it's light-hearted humour, and I enjoy it. So that is my number 10. Okay, number 9 is Red Heat, and that came out in 1988. It was co-starring James Belushi, and it's basically about a Russian policeman has to come over to America. He's teamed up with a Chicago detective, played by Belushi. And basically, they're paired up to apprehend this Georgian drug lord. And yeah, it just shows you, you know, back then it was the Cold War. So you're basically teaming up the enemy, the Russians and the Americans. It's a buddy cop movie as such with those two, and the camaraderie and the dynamic of those being, you know, him being he'd been very Russian and very sort of, you know, serious, with Belushi being a bit of a joker and a clown. I think it's actually quite a good movie. It's a good action movie. I enjoy it. It's another one of Arnie's films. If I see it on, I'm going to sit and watch it. Yeah, it's just a good movie. Okay, number 8. Number 8 might surprise some people. It surprised me actually putting it in, but I don't know why I put it in. And it's Twins. Now, Twins is one of the most ridiculous movies ever. I think the premise of it is ludicrous in the fact that you've got these two twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's this physically perfect specimen, and then you've got this short idiot, Danny DeVito, and then you got this short, small-time crook, womanizer of Danny DeVito. And it's really weird how, you know, basically I think they were creating a lab, and you got these, you know, these twins, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is growing up in like a laboratory, and he finds out that he's got a twin brother, and he wants to go and find him. And that's basically it, and there's lots of hijinks and stuff going on around it. But the fact you got you got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, who are supposed to be twin brothers, is stupid. But again, it's one of them films I just can't help but put on if it's on. I can't help but watch it. It's very 80s to me, and I watched it a lot when I was a kid. And back then I didn't really think about the stupidness of it. But it's the film that it's got a lot of nostalgia to me, so I like to watch it. So yeah, number 8 is Twins. Number 7 is Last Action Hero, and it came out in 1993. And basically this little kid gets sucked into one of his favourite movies. The main character played by Arnie, and he's in the movie. He's basically trapped in it, and he's living like the movie's got its own world. It's an actual real world. You know, in this movie, I think one of the funny scenes is you've got, they go into a video store, which obviously we don't have nowadays. Kids, if you're watching this, we had video stores where we had to rent our movies from rather than download them online. And in this store, there's a cardboard cutout of Terminator 2, but as they're in the movie world, the Terminator is actually played by Sylvester Stallone, which I think is quite a funny moment. Again, it's not one of his best ever films. It's not one of the best films ever. But again, it's just a good film I enjoy to watch. It's got quite a lot of nostalgia for me, and I think it's a fun movie. Okay, coming in at number 6 is Commando. Came out in 1985. It's one of my favourite Arnie movies for sure. He's basically a retired commando. This evil drug lord type guy kidnaps his daughter in order to get him to work for him, I believe. And basically, Arnie has to go on a one-man killing spree to wipe out all these bad guys to get his daughter back. He basically hijacks. One of my favourite scenes is where he breaks into a gun shop and just steals all his guns, rocket launchers and stuff. He ropes in this woman to help him. Unwittingly, she gets in the middle of it all, but she gets roped into helping Arnie. You know, he steals a plane and flies to this island to get his daughter back. It's just a great movie for me. A really good action movie. Arnie at his best, and definitely one again that I put on every time I see it come up on TV. I'll watch it. Okay, number 5 is The Terminator. It's come out in 1984. So The Terminator is a movie, if you don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, but The Terminator is a movie basically where in the future a computer system called Skynet has taken over the world, wiped out pretty much all of humanity, and built these big robot cyborgs to basically wipe out the rest of the human race, because it wants just to eliminate. That's all it wants to do, is eliminate the humans and rule the world. The humans send back a guy, Carl Reese, to warn the mother of the resistance leader, John Connor, Sarah Connor. He basically comes back to warn her that the Skynet is going to send a robot to kill her, and then he's got to protect her. You know, Skynet also sends a Terminator back, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the Terminator is basically on a one-man hunting spree, killing people left, right and centre, trying to find Sarah Connor, and basically by eliminating Sarah Connor, eliminates the guy that basically rescues the human race right at the last second. As he's destroying Skynet, Skynet sent this Terminator back to try and wipe him out. It's a really great premise for a movie, and I love it. It's one of my favourite films. You can see my Terminator head here. Yeah, great film. Okay, number 4 is The Running Man, come out in 1987. It's set in a non too distant future where there's this TV show where they pit prisoners and people in prison. They're running out of space in prisons, things like that. So they give them a chance to earn their freedom by competing in this gladiatorial games type thing on TV. A bit like Gladiators, which we actually had, but in this they actually kill the prisoners. And basically Arnold Schwarzenegger is a guy who's wrongly accused and wrongly imprisoned for a crime he really didn't commit. He's framed. And then someone somewhere thinks, oh, let's get him into these games, we can get him eliminated that way as well. And basically, yeah, he's got to go through these Running Man games where there's these really cool different, I can't remember what they call them, they're like gladiators, all with special weapons and stuff, and one's got a flamethrower, electricity, all these different things, and a chainsaw, and yeah, he has to just basically survive these games and try and get out and escape. And it's really awesome movie. Again, definitely one of my favourite Arnie films of all time. It's a really great film. Okay, coming in at number 3 is The Predator. That came out in 1987, and that is a fantastic movie as well. Basically, this unit, this jungle, special forces unit are out in the jungle, and while they're trying to do their mission, they basically come across and then are hunted by the Predator, which is an alien creature. I mean, most of you know who the Predator is. And the Predator basically, one by one, hunts them for sport, takes them out one by one, and to the point where, you know, they're all just trying to survive. and it's again a great film. Some really good special effects for the time, when the Predator goes invisible and all that stuff. It's quite violent, as are most of these films, to be fair. Most Arnie films are quite violent, especially in the 80s. They had a lot more violence in them than they do now. And yeah, The Predator is an absolutely fantastic film. Okay, in at number 2 is Total Recall. That came out in 1990. An awesome film. Again, in Total Recall, basically this guy he feels like he's missing something in his life, and there's this place called Recall, where basically instead of going on an actual holiday, you can go to this place and they implant memories into your brain of a vacation as such. But in this, you can also have things like being a special agent and these different scenarios you can play out in your head. And he has this fascination with Mars. He feels like he's sort of been there, but he hasn't been there in his mind anyway. And you know, his wife keeps telling him, don't go, I don't want you to go, don't want to play around with your brain. But he goes, he gets this memory implant put into his head of going to Mars as a special agent. Before you know it, he's being attacked by people left, right and centre. The Recall place tell him, you know, we didn't even implant the memory, it didn't work, you flipped out. And basically he's then pursued by agents who are trying to kill him. He then makes his way, he gets sort of transport to Mars, and he makes his way to Mars. And the story unfolds, and basically it's, is he dream? Is this a memory? Is it recall, or is this actually real? He's basically being told that he was a secret agent, a double agent, and his brain's been wiped, and he's been sent to Earth out of the way of Cohagen, who basically rules Mars, and he's a pretty bad guy. So yeah, it's a really great movie, love it, and one of my favourite movies growing up as a child. Okay, so in at number 1, this is the movie that I have watched the most out of any movie ever. I've watched this so many times, this film, mostly throughout from my childhood to my teens. It's my second favourite movie. It's not my favourite movie, but it's my second favourite movie, and it is my top favourite movie of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, and it is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So again, obviously at number 5 we have the Terminator, number 1 is Terminator 2. This film is amazing. I remember when it came out, the leap in special effects and CGI was amazing. We'd never seen anything like this. There's a big hoo-ha around this film with regards to the CGI, and obviously James Cameron being at the helm of it really pushed the special effects of the T-1000, which is the liquid metal Terminator that's this time is sent back to kill John Connor, is amazing. So this film's different to the first one. Again, if you haven't seen this, I'll be very surprised if you haven't, but if you haven't seen this film, the Terminator this time, T-800, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is sent back to protect a young John Connor, and a T-1000, which is like this liquid metals Terminator, can turn into any person he wants, or turn into, like, make his hands into knives and solid sharp metal objects, is sent back to kill John Connor. It's a great movie. Like I said, the special effects for the time were a massive leap from anything we'd ever seen. It's an absolutely fantastic movie. The story is fantastic, and it still holds up to the test of time now. If you watch that movie, it doesn't look dated at all to me. And yeah, it's just a great movie. After this film, the Terminator franchise has just gone really bizarre and not very good. Terminator 3 was terrible. Salvation was okay. And Genesis, to begin with, I thought was actually really quite good for how they did that. But then the second half of that movie was an absolute fail for me. But Terminator 2 is where the pinnacle of the franchise was. And it is definitely my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger film. And it's also my second all-time favourite movie. So yeah, Terminator 2. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little top 10 video. Funny that the top 2 Arnie films weren't 80s movies, they were actually from the 90s. But there were a lot of 80s movies in there. And yeah, I'll be really eager to know what your top 10 is of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video guys, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. Leave some comments in the comment section below, so I'd love to hear from you guys to know what your top 10 favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger films are. Or if you don't want to do the top 10, do the 5, or just tell me your top couple of films that he's made. Are you a fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel. I do lots more movie related videos, reviews, top 10 videos like this, as well as other pop culture related stuff, unboxings of collectibles and other things. If you do decide to subscribe, hit the little bell notification button, and that will notify you when I upload my latest videos. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take it easy.